The Holy Gospel according to St. John. After feeding more than 5,000 people in the wilderness, Jesus teaches them regarding the true significance of this remarkable sign. Jesus said to them, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." Then the Jews began to complain about him because he said, "I am the bread that came down from heaven." They were saying, "Is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How can he now say, 'I have come down from heaven'?" Jesus answered them, "Do not complain among yourselves. No one can come to me unless drawn by the Father who sent me, and I will raise that person up on the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be taught by God. Everyone who has heard and learned from the Father comes to me. Not that anyone has seen the Father except the one who is from God. He has seen the Father. Very truly I tell you, whoever believes has eternal life. I am the bread of life. Your ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, and they died. This is the bread that comes down from heaven, so that one may eat of it and not die. I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats of this bread will live forever. And the bread that I will give you for the life of the world is my flesh." The Gospel of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. At this time, we'd like to invite Kim Reem forward, Executive Director of Mission of Hope. Thank you, Kim.
You hear me okay? There we go. All right, we're going to start with a video, and then I'll come in and speak when the video is done. Enjoy.
Be the wind beneath each wing. We are called to make communion.
Am I on? Oh. Well, no wonder you looked at me like a calf looking at a new gate. Anyway, I was just asking those of you that have been part of our ministry in some way to stand. And the reason that's so important is because at Mission of Hope, I mean, there are 11 of us that actually get a paycheck, that actually, are staff. But you can see by the numbers of folks here, we have thousands of people across our community that are an integral part of what we do. Well, Siri thinks I'm trying to talk to her. I'm sorry. There we go. Hopefully she'll not do that again. Anyway, thousands of people that help us, that are engaged with us across the community, and that's so wonderful because of the numbers of people we serve. I'll show you that in a second, but we couldn't do it without you. Please, I hope if you don't get anything else from what I say today, take away the fact that we cannot be here without your help, okay? I am so grateful for churches like your church, who we're a front burner, it feels like. Mission of Hope is very, very important. When I was here before, I heard the voice of God sounds like Sharon Hill, and I took that with me and have enjoyed thinking about that from time to time. But, there's little kids here that collected items for our Crossroads mission, and those donations were dropped off, and those are now being given out. We have people here that participated with our golf fundraising event. It ended up being $22,258 that this church helped us raise for that event. We had a potential to raise about $29,000. We had a match on new money, and when we did the final total, it ended up being $22,258 because some of the folks that gave have given before, so we couldn't count that as new money. I really wanted to, though. I really did. Try to figure out how to make that work. So anyway, so this morning, raise your hands if you've ever been to Mission of Hope, to the main campus. Okay. Raise your hands if you've ever been to Crossroads. Okay. If you've been to our men's shelter. Fewer if you've been to our women's shelter. Great. What I want to do is take you around the ministry this morning. I want to give you an update. So Mission of Hope was founded in 2002. It's hard to believe that we're in our 16th year of ministry. On the one hand, we feel every day, and on the other, it's just flown by. But our mission, as was stated in your bulletin, is to develop rich and satisfying lives through Jesus Christ. We take that from John 10:10b, where the Word of God says, I'm come that you might have life, that they might have it more abundantly. Now, we're not talking about physical riches. We're talking about the richness of the relationship with Jesus Christ. So we have a board. They're all my bosses. So Laura Kaminsky, Mike Delaney, Bart Woods, Pat Rawlson, Stephanie Carter, Keith Rippey, and Susie Wynot are the people who are serving on our board at this time, and they do a great job. But they give me guidance as far as policy. They set policy, and then as executive director, I take care of the day-to-day. So Mission of Hope, we have 4 locations, but I say that we have one team. And sometimes people get a little confused. Well, can I take this to Crossroads? Can I take this to Mission of Hope? Where can I take this? And it's like, well, the thing is, we're all one, okay? So if you bring it to Crossroads and it's something that goes to Mission of Hope, or you bring it to Mission of Hope and it's something we need at Crossroads, there's good news. We have people who transport and move stuff back and forth, so it all gets where it needs to go, all right? So at Mission of Hope, we have 3 people who are directors. We have myself as executive director, and then Karen. If you've helped with our lunch program, you would have seen Karen most likely, or met Karen. She's our guest services director. She oversees the lunch portion of our day, and then all the people that engage with us for help from the food pantry, Karen's the point person on that. Douglas, he has been a missionary to Cambodia, and he's home for a time, or I say home. He might feel Cambodia's home. He's in the States right now, and he's been a part of Mission of Hope now for almost a year, and he takes care of our operations. So everything from all the pickups and the deliveries to the maintenance and things like that. So couldn't do what we do without him. I bet a lot of you know Deb Foster. Deb is now the director of our Crossroads campus, and I think she's been here before. She's related to Mary Kay. So I don't know, for better or worse, no. Teasing Mary Kay, love ya. And then our shelter directors, Vernon and Kenna, they take care of overseeing the things that go on day to day at our shelter houses. As I've already said, thousands and thousands of volunteers with 11 people on our side of the equation. I mean, you can take one of us out and we'll get by. But if we lose a church here or a church there or a group of people here and a group of people there, it really, really would tell on our ministry over time. So we're so grateful for the volunteer piece of the ministry. About us, I think this is interesting. If you look at collectively, in 2017, if you help serve lunch, we served a total of 32,308 meals out of our dining room in 2017. That's almost enough to like feed everyone in Marion, and that's a lot of food. We provided 10,220 nights of shelter. We have 16 beds at the men's shelter, and we have 12 at the ladies' shelter. So we also put up cots in the wintertime when it's so cold that we want to get people off the street. That's the goal. We put up a few cots. At our Crossroads location, we give out meals for a day in like a grocery store sack, like you get at Hy-Vee, the t-shirt sack. Now, this is true. 76,731 meals went out the doors of Crossroads last year. Again, a lot of food. And then in our food pantry, we were able to give out 36,225 meals in 2017. So that's just, a little piece of the physical side of the ministry. And that doesn't take into account all the people that we've helped spiritually, those that we've helped find the Lord, those that we've helped disciple, and so forth. It's a little harder to track some of that, but I think one of the things that being a part of Mission of Hope, I always like to be is accountable. I like to be transparent. And when a church like yours engages with your resources, I think it's fair that you know how our resources were spent. So what I did is I brought you just a little snapshot. Our support level in 2016 was $406,000. And I think when I came to Mission of Hope in 2016, our budget was about $280,000. I'll explain that for you in a minute, but so these are actual dollars that came in 2017. 61% came from individuals such as yourself sitting here. And then 19% came from churches like this one who have partnered with us financially. 11% came from businesses, and 9% came from other avenues. Now, primarily the other avenues would be things like, well, I don't need that whole building at our main campus. I don't need all of it, so I've got half of it leased out, okay? The reason for that is I got to pay the lights and the water and the gas and all of that, regardless of if someone is there or not. I believe that the building should be full. So I've got every square inch that Mission of Hope isn't using, I've got it leased out to somebody. So we have some revenue that comes in from that, and we're very grateful for it. And then as we grow and we need it, well, we'll just grow into that space, and those people can find someplace else to be. So anyway, now don't be shocked. Okay, our budget for 2018. You're like, wow, Kim, what are you doing? You out shopping? Yeah, that's my salary. No. If they weren't paying me, it would, right. $562,000 is our need this year. You go, whoa, what's happening there? Well, let me paint the picture for you, okay? In 2017, we opened our women's shelter in May. Now we have a 4th location going every single day. We hired 3 full-time people mid-2017 to run that location, okay? So in addition to that, we've added a staff person at Crossroads. So basically, I needed to, in last year, to add 4 staff people, okay? So the difference in our budget, going from, it's a hefty proposition to just tell your board that you need, an extra $150,000, no problem, right? And when I gave him the budget, I said, well, I know what it's going to take, but I think today would be a good day maybe for me to give you also my resignation. No, I was just kidding, But after I revived them all, they took a look and, basically about $300,000 of our annual budget is to pay the people who work there. So just so you know, we are a lean machine. The people that work there, they get a paycheck, but we don't have any benefits that are provided. I mean, I don't know that that's good or bad, but there's no fluff in the numbers. So they get a paycheck, and then at this time, that's it. So that basically, that $562,000 breaks down to $46,833 a month and $1,540 every calendar day. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to run 4 locations, to pay 11 staff people to do all the things that I just told you about in the previous slides. This is what it takes for Mission of Hope to go. So you can do a couple of things. You could join with us in prayer, keep that a matter of prayer. God always provides, you know that? Look at a number like that and, you know, you can doubt. You can have a lot of doubt. Let me tell you something. This is not Kim's ministry. This is not Lutheran Church of the Resurrection's ministry. This is God's ministry. And I see that every single day while I'm working there at Mission of Hope, is that my work there is service to Him. And it's not up to me to provide that. Because our Father, He said, you know, ask and it shall be given you, but my God shall supply all your needs. One day I was talking to the staff and we needed $10,000. And not like it would be great if we had it, we could do this over here, but we really, really needed it. And I told the staff that morning at 9 o'clock, you know, this is a need and we can't meet it. We don't have it. But I remember I talked with my hands. I'm guilty. My mom did that. I picked it up from her. I remember just saying, this morning, we're lifting this up to God. And we're going to watch and see how God meets this need. I expected Him to meet the need, not how it happened. I was in the kitchen a couple hours later, 11 o'clock-ish or so, helping make lunch. The staff came. There's 2 guys in trench coats, suits, and ties. That doesn't happen in our world very often. Most people come to us looking for clothes, you know? And so I thought, oh, it's the feds. Gotta be. Wonder who they're looking for. Yeah. So I walked out and you know, ladies, when we're expecting company, we want to look our best, yeah? Oh yeah, let me paint this picture. Hairnet, apron, gloves. I walked out of the kitchen, I'm like, how can I help you guys, you know? And I expected him to flash a badge and tell me who they were looking for. And Gary said, well, actually, he said, we're here to help you. Whoa, okay. He said, we're from a foundation here in town. And he gave me a paper that told about who they were and what their mission is. And then he said these amazing words, we brought a check for you. Anybody want to guess how much that check was for? To the penny, $10,000. And I said, I think I need to sit down. You know, it's like, I need a minute. And I don't think that Gary understood where I was coming from. You know, he's like, well, you know, when you've had a chance to tell your board about this and you have an idea how you're going to spend it, he said, you can get back to us and let us know. Right. I said, oh, buddy, I can tell you where this is going to go. You know, I said, I asked God for this morning. You know, my takeaway from that is God delivers faster than FedEx. Right? But the thing that really touched my heart about all that is that check was on its way to me before I knew that I needed it. You understand? That check wasn't about me. I demonstrated my faith, I hope, by telling the staff that that was our need and we were going to trust God for it. That God already had it taken care of. Isn't that amazing? That's the kind of God we serve. So we see things like that at Mission of Hope, and so I'm ever so grateful for the affirmation of His hand on the ministry. Tell you about this real quick. In 2016, we went through some strategic planning as a board. I was on the board at that time. I didn't become the executive director until October of 2016. But one of the things that we did is we worked through the book, Helping Without Hurting in Church Benevolence. It's a fantastic companion book to When Helping Hurts. And the idea is, you know, we engage with people. Are you hungry? Have a sandwich. Do you need a bed? You know, we have a shelter. You need clothes. We have a clothes closet. But, you know, we serve some of the same people today that we served in 2002 when we first opened our doors. So while we were well-intentioned, we really have created some dependencies among people, and we have allowed that, okay? We didn't set out to do that, but that's kind of the result of what we've done. So the idea is when we took a look at our ministry and we just said, oh, we're completely emergency relief, helping people get through today. And that's a good thing. Jesus said, the poor you have with you always. There's always going to be somebody who needs that kind of help. However, one of the things that we were burdened with was the fact that we wanted to have a more balanced approach as a ministry. So we want to have that component where we're helping with emergency relief, but we also want to be mindful to have programs and things built into our ministry in the way of restoration or rehabilitation. What is that, Kim? Well, that's helping people get back to where they were before they were in crisis, okay? So the third thing that we want to have a strong focus on is the development component. Development component is not just a handout. I'm not continually giving you the hand out that you need. I'm giving you the hand up, right? So development is taking somebody from where they are to another place. So we have sent 6 people to become certified facilitators for a program called Work Life. And Work Life, we launched that in September of 2017, but it's a 19-lesson soft skills program that helps people who are needing another chance in the world of work, takes them through how to be successful in the world of work. And then we are working to create partnerships. We've been to places like Apache Hose and Greedion, places in our community that could offer, with a little time and a little training, these people a job that could pay a living wage. These probably never be college graduates, but work sometimes doesn't work. We all like to sit back and say they're lazy, they don't want to work. And there's some merit to that. But the situation is that there are some people that going to McDonald's and working minimum wage, well, now they pay $9 and $10 an hour, but that's not enough to take care of a family. So when they're torn between, I could sell a few drugs, I might get caught, but I could do this, and I can live for the month, or I can go over here and work and work and work and work hard, and no matter what I do, it won't work. They're going to take the easier path. Okay, so we're trying to help them open doors that would get them into jobs that would pay, ultimately they could start maybe $16 to $18 an hour and end up, over 90 days and a year and so forth being in the 20s. And that is more realistic than that they could make it in the world of work. So we're real excited about the Work Life program, but we started in 2002. In 2016, we identified this, and what we felt is we have a lot of ownership in the fact that we are all emergency relief. And so we didn't want to just close our doors and reopen with a new mission and a whole different way of doing things. We felt like taking the path that would be a gradual change over time. So we call it our 2020 roadmap. And so this is something that we are working to achieve by the end of the year 2020, is that we would like to finish the year at 30% relief, 30% rehabilitation or restoration, and 40% development. So present just a little more balance in the ministry. I want to share just a couple of needs with you quickly. Every ministry has them. I know your ministry has them too. But I like the verse that says, give and it shall be given unto you. One of my pastors growing up always said is, if you need to get something, give. Give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over, shall men give unto your bosom, right? So I think that a church that blesses a ministry like Mission of Hope receives God's blessing in return. I think it's evident here this morning that God has his hand of blessing on you. But there's a couple of things I want to leave with you as far as needs that we have currently. The roof over our sanctuary has seen a few better days. The sanctuary was built in 1902, so it's older than I am. Anyway, the whole roof, the whole property here needs to be re-roofed. The most critical thing, though, right now is this piece over the sanctuary, because I don't know if we can make it another winter. God has held it together so far, but every time it rains, we have to pick it up off the ground down below. So if you would be in prayer with us about the replacement of this roof, that would be great. Also, as far as our Work Life program, we are looking for some funding. Ideally, I'm hoping to start a new class September 1st, and this will be the first time that we have allowed the class attendees to earn a paycheck while they're taking the class. We had some people, we did a pilot, they came, but they started to fall off as the program went along. And what we heard back, the feedback we got was, well, I am looking for a job and I do need a paycheck now, right? So we're looking for a way to pay them for the 4 weeks that they take the class. If you guys know of any employers where people might be willing to take somebody that needs a second chance, that could be helpful. Allies are people like yourselves. Development is very one-on-one. You can't take a whole bunch of people. I could take a whole bunch of people and feed them a meal, emergency relief. I could do that by myself. Development, you got to walk with them, and it's more time consuming. And then meals and childcare that we hope to provide as part of work life, just trying to remove the barriers so that people can come in and engage with us. The third thing is just so many times with the number of shelter residents that we have, having a way to transport them around would be so helpful. So though I leave with you 3 thoughts, the roof, just partners with our work-life program and some kind of a vehicle transportation. Wouldn't have to be like this one. I just happened to find this one as I was kind of looking. So anyway, I thank you so much for letting me be here today to bring you a picture or a few pictures of the Mission of Hope. I hope that you've been blessed just to see how your participation and your involvement has encouraged and strengthened our ministry. Thank you for having me today.